One minute I'm peaceful and serene, the next minute I'm fucked up, neurotic, and insecure. One minute I'm irritable, one minute I'm hopeful, and just exuding good energy. Welcome to the emotional roller coaster in your first year of sobriety. What's going on, guys? My name is Noah, and in this video I'm gonna reflect openly with you guys on how I've been doing lately in relation to being sober and just what has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster as I get closer to my 1 year of sobriety and recovery, as I might add. At the moment, I definitely sense an uptick in being irritable. I just feel grumpy and I feel a little more short-tempered, a little more sensitive, a little more emotional. Being sober has brought me a lot of those moments. But over the last few months, I'd mostly say I've been pretty even-keeled and enjoyed a lot more stability and a lot more hope and upbeat feeling and patience and peace and all that stuff and serenity. And at the moment, I feel like a grumpy old bastard a lot of the times. My prayer is that I'm not like pushing this on other people per se. I hope my behavior reflects someone who at least is kind towards all. But deep down inside, I know I feel irritable. I know I feel grumpy. And it's something that I think needs to be talked about when we're talking about recovery and getting sober and changing something that was such a big part of your life for the negative and trying to do something positive, is that sometimes it's not going to go great. And this is one of those times where there are things coming up and I'm experiencing things in recovery and in sobriety that are uncomfortable, and they put me more in tune with why I used to drink. So I'll try to make my backstory really quick. I was born at a young age, found alcohol, thought it was the greatest thing on earth, couldn't control it, it destroyed and consumed my life, and I wound up getting sober. It wasn't that bad till it got really bad. I got sober April 11th of 2018. I'm also in recovery, and I want to mention that because I think it pertains to my share today. So recovery, in my experience and from the language I'm learning, is just when you are working some sort of formal program around your alcoholism. If you quit drinking, but that's all you do, then you got sober. And maybe that'll work for you, and maybe that's great. I'm not bashing that whatsoever. But some people, such as myself, I can't just get sober. I can't just stop drinking and be good. I tend to go to absolute pieces when I just stop drinking. And so there are recovery programs, 12-step programs, and other programs and or outside help along the lines of therapy, let's say. So I am doing both. I'm working a 12-step recovery program. I have a sponsor, I go to meetings, I have a service position, and I also see a drug and alcohol counselor. In recovery, as I try to speculate, why the fuck am I so irritable right now, and why am I fantasizing more about booze right now, and why do I just feel myself being kind of a grump right now and just a little more insecure right now? I'm trying to reflect on it in a passive way, like in an observant, a gentle observer mindset. Like, I just want to learn about myself, because my history is that when I feel uncomfortable, period, especially for too long, I will seek to ease that discomfort one way or another. Alcohol was a wonderful solution until it wasn't. I mean, instantly took me away from feelings such as these ones, where I'm just off. But I don't want to go back to that life. That life emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually destroyed me. But I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here either in this uncomfortable feeling. And so I have to investigate, I have to dig in deeper. And something I've been doing recently is working with a sponsor in a 12-step program, going over what's known as a 4th step. And this 4th step is bringing about a lot of realizations about myself, behaviors, trends, things from my past that I'm not proud of. One of the unbelievably most beautiful things about getting sober, and the most fucking frustrating things about getting sober, is you might just get a chance to get to know yourself. Not to get to know yourself from what you think, who you think you are, but what your behavior says you are. Behavior is a very powerful tool to examine if you're able to do so objectively and keep yourself right-sized in the process. So in this 4th step, we're looking at behavior. I'm writing out lists of people closest to me and then branching out from the closest person to me to less close people. And what we're doing is we're putting it in columns like this. Who it was, here's what happened, how it made me feel, and what my part in it was. Let's just say that there's been a part of my behavior that has come up now with all these different people that I'm working through and creating lists for. And it's very upsetting to me because I didn't know it was there. I knew isolated events that happened in relation to my drinking were going on, but there is a part of my past that is that makes me feel yuck. It makes me feel scummy. It gives me those feelings of just self-hatred. I'm just like, I can't stand that you did that. Like actions that I would never want anyone to know that I was doing. And we all have skeletons in our closet, and my hope is to work through these in a meaningful, healthy way so I don't have to repeat these behaviors. But needless to say, I think looking at this stuff and seeing beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was not the person I thought I was, or I wasn't behaving like a person that I thought I was, over and over and over again, it hurts. I don't like it. There's an anger that washes over me about me, and I have fragile ego, fragile self-esteem. And it's tough to do. It's important to do, and I believe it's necessary for me to look at what has been in order to better understand where I do not want to go. But it doesn't take away the discomfort, because I never wanted to face things from my past in a meaningful way. It's incredible how drinking can just wash over that process for me personally. Getting sober is like unplugging from the matrix. Like, I don't know which way's up sometimes. I basically feel like I'm learning how to live, learning how to behave, learning how to be accountable, learning how to be responsible, learning how to be loving to myself and others, learning how not to be inherently selfish in all my choices. I'm in a massive phase of growth. I definitely feel like I am struggling in the cocoon right now. Like, I do not consider myself a refined finished product. No butterflies here yet. And part of that cocoon growth, that struggle, is learning things about myself and being willing to accept them, and then having the courage to change in the presence of others. And I think it's made me grumpy, and it's made me want to go to less meetings, and it's made me want to binge eat sugar more, because it's uncomfortable. Because it's uncomfortable. But I get to do this, is what I keep telling myself and what my leadership keeps telling me. I have the opportunity to walk through this discomfort and evolve, lest I be destroyed by it and return to my old ways. And I just don't want to be that person who cannot or will not be completely honest with himself, and be willing to be realistic about the life I was living, the life I want to be living, and what that's going to take. And one thing's for sure, talking about it helps. Sharing openly about it with you guys, with leadership in my life, helps. Not hiding, keeping this to myself. And I haven't posted a whole lot lately because I'm grumpy right now. I feel a bit low, and I definitely feel sensitive. But you know what? I have tools today, and I'm so thankful for that. I have tools today to deal with these murky parts of my past, and this triggering feeling I have about my 1 year coming up, and this fear, and this like inner child that's scared. I have tools to deal with that today that I trust. I really do. And so, as much as I have this instinct to isolate, as much as I have this instinct to just go eat 30 pancakes and then a half gallon of ice cream, just please God, don't let me feel. I also have been slowly cultivating tremendous instinct to push through, instinct to show up, instinct to do the next right thing, instinct to trust leadership in my life, instinct not to be afraid of these thoughts but focus more on my actions. I've earned enough credibility with myself to be able to, as like my own parent, be like, hey, I know this is a bit scary, and yeah, you did some shit you're not proud of. Welcome to the reality of being a recovering alcoholic or drug addict. There are things in our past that make us feel crappy. That's just part of the deal. Now, what doesn't have to be part of the deal, little Noah, is you don't have to repeat those same things and be that same person. Am I willing to accept that I can change, and I can forgive myself, and I can live a meaningful, purposeful, useful life? I am. Thank God that I am for today. So that's how I'm dealing with this, and I'm trying really hard not to cut back on the things that have got me here, but to double up on the things that have got me here. So, you know what didn't get me here? Here being 11 months sober and in recovery, in the best mental, emotional, physical, spiritual shape of my life. You know what didn't get me here was sitting back and thinking about it and trying to work it out in my head. Actions got me here, and actions will get me through this. I really do believe that. Dealing with real shit is uncomfortable. I just want to be proud of myself. I want to love myself. I want to be a good example for myself. And as I get older, there's nothing more deflating and more depression-inducing than repeating old behaviors, trying to deal with things the same way I've always dealt with them, getting the same results I've always gotten, just like living in that insanity and then looking myself in the mirror. So I think I'm right exactly where I need to be. I'll continue to work through this 4th step. I've been going to like 3 meetings a week lately, and I need to up that. 3 is clearly not enough for me personally in my 12-step program. And I just need to have a little faith and trust the process, and I really appreciate you guys. I cannot wait to hear about your experiences, because we learn from one another. I hope no one thinks when I share like this, like, please no, fix me. It's like, no. I'm not trying to be fixed. I'm just trying to connect. I'm just hoping to connect, and you can make such a big difference in my life and in other people's lives if you're willing to just be open in the comment section. Just share a little bit about how this sort of thing impacts you, if it does, or if you know someone with whom or for whom this sort of thing has impacted their life. Just get involved in that comment section below and bless my damn life, please. I'm gonna act my way into better thinking and feeling. That's the goal. That's the plan. No matter what, I am not going to regress into old behaviors, but I'm going to double down on my good behaviors, on my sleep, on my meditation, on my mood journaling, on my self-esteem practices, on my exercise, on my diet, on my service to others. All of it, just more. And we'll get through this just fine. I'm certain of it. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time. 1 day, 1 hour. Wow. Yes, 1 day and 1 hour. Not sure where that little character just came from. Yeah, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time. We can get through anything we are going through. I promise. Adios.